What up, y'all? It's your boy R to the A to the S, Yiggity Yes, Riggedy Rise. Here with Perceived Carson, Bliggity Vlog. And today I'm here to talk about, give my final thoughts on Preacher's Daughters Season 2. Alright? I didn't do a week by week review. I was watching the show, but I really didn't feel the need to do a review. Not a lot of stuff just stood out where, like last year, a couple things stood out. They really stand out this year. Those who don't know, of course, this is about four pastors and their daughters, all right, and different daughters. From last year, you had Taylor. I think her name is Taylor Coleman. Her father, pastor. Of course, this year you found out that he has some kidney problems. Taylor is now an adult. Father still treats her like a little girl, and of course she graduated, going to the prom, etc., etc. What stood out to me though most was the episode where she decided that she was going to raise some money for her father because he had kidney disease. Now, of course, that act is admirable. You know, it's showing that she cares about her father. But at the same time, it just shows you that she cannot get out of her own way. She could not get out of her own selfishness. I couldn't believe that she would actually do this in front of a church, dressing the way she was dressing, get on top of cars, something that you would see in a Snoop Doggy Dogg video or something. That is not something that you would do in front of a church. I don't think non-Christians would do that. And just to see this young lady's selfishness, it's just unbelievable. She has to show off her body. That's the only way, in my opinion, she probably feels significant is, hey, look at me, look at my body. That's all she knows. And she is a very sad person. You're going to do that while your father is sick? That's just ridiculous. In front of his church. Why your father's sick? You don't have to be a Christian to realize that. It's just unthinkable. Kobe, this year, she was basically like a no-show. I guess her life is so boring. That's a good thing, I guess. You know, she wasn't. I think she snuck off one time. Didn't really see any boyfriend stuff, or the real big drama was the father said he wasn't gonna pay for her to go to school unless she went into the ministry. And the logic with that, what kind of worldview is that? What is your viewpoint of ministry? Ministry is going to a seminary? Don't you have a bigger view of ministry? Whatever she goes into, of course if it's not to go against the will of God, but whatever she goes into, she can use that to glorify God in. Why would you make a big deal about your daughter not going to a seminary or a theological school? What kind of perspective do you have of ministry? It is very small. Very small. That was unbelievable. Of course, that a lot of the focus then was on Kobe's sister and her husband. I guess they found that more interesting. Her and her husband marital issues and stuff like that, and of course the happy ending. Sorry to renew their vows, which is great. I believe it's Megan. That was the new family, and definitely felt sorry for this young lady. She didn't know how to adjust to her parents, leaving the minute, going into the ministry full time. She just seemed like she saw her brother on drugs, and she just does not know how to deal with change and with adversity without going to get some pain relief. And of course, her pain relief was by smoking that loud, all right, as we call it in the hood. She was on that loud, smoking it loud. And of course lied about it and all these types of things. But you know, again, you know, she going with her had a boyfriend. Her parents forbid that. If you look at my other videos where I talked about law versus grace, her parents definitely were law, and she rebelled against the law. We saw that over and over and over again. But yeah, this you can see that this young lady really had nobody to talk to. She definitely her parents didn't trust her, and she didn't trust her parents. It was just sad, and it's sad. And you know, you hope that she grows into a relationship with Jesus where she sees that being stuck in the past, being stuck in life is not the way to go, and smoking loud is not going to solve the problems. She had some real pain, some real issues, but she didn't know how to deal with it. So she got some, as the popular saying now, self-medication to medicate her issues. And then Tori, um, another young lady that you just felt sorry for. Again, that's another one you just hope that she gets an understanding of Christ. It said at the end that she did. She was being sober, but I mean, pain pills and drinking, that just sending a message. I want to die. That's all she's saying. There was no fun in that. She said she wasn't happy. She had no joy. She didn't have the joy of the Lord. And that was evident and that was clear. And it wasn't about, quote unquote, oh, I just want to have fun. That was an excuse. It wasn't about fun. She didn't know how to deal with those issues. Of course, she got kicked out of her apartment, money issues, all these things that were going on. Again, another person who did not have really nobody to talk to. Yes, she had friends, but obviously she wasn't able to talk about those issues and problems and look to alcohol, drugs to solve them problems. And it just really showed, just overall, that people need people to talk to, number one. People need to learn how to not get stuck in the past and learn how to move on, how to deal with pain. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck there, never be able to move forward. And that's what happened to a lot of these young ladies. Even like Taylor, having some difficult issues. She was about to smoke some weed, but at least she had the young preacher guy. Maybe he'll be able to help her and be a friend to her and stuff like that. Pray for her. Somebody on her level, hopefully. But all the young ladies need somebody talk to and need to know the Lord way better. I can't judge their relationship, but it's clear that they do have a very shallow understanding, and they got to learn how to move past their pain and their issues. And that only comes through talking to people and knowing the Lord better. So that's my final thoughts on this show. I'd love to hear what are your final thoughts. This is Proceed with Caution Blog. Kobe sucks. And I'm out. Trip House.